Live from our Kwacha studios in Blantyre, we bring you the latest edition of MBC News with me, Simeon Boyce, and our sign language interpreter is Savita Wilima. Our top stories. Vice President Dr. Michael Usi hails Mary's Mills International for increasing the number of learners who are benefiting from its school feeding program. The Malawi Bureau of Standards, MBS, closes some Sana retail shops due to unhygienic conditions. In sports, Bro Eagles Football Club, who have been promoted into the TNM Super League, says they will not repeat the mistakes that resulted in the 10th relegation in 2023 season. Thank you very much for joining us. Vice President Dr. Michael Usi has hailed Mary's Mills International for increasing the number of learners who are benefiting from its school feeding program in all primary schools. The organization is set to increase the number of learners benefiting from the initiative from 1.1 million to 1.4 million effective April this year. Dr. Usi said this at Changalu Primary School in Dowa, where he appreciated the school feeding program. Austin Fukula with details.
Dr. Usi points out that government is committed to ensuring it improves education standards. He says the school feeding program is an instrument that is transforming the education sector through reduced absenteeism and improved nutrition among learners. The Vice President, therefore, said there is need to increase funding initiatives to support the school feeding program.
We must scale up investments and create long-term funding solutions that ensure that continued success of this program, expanding its reach to the most vulnerable, is attained. The school feeding program is an initiative that has the potential to transform the future of our children.
Minister of Basic and Secondary Education, Madzulo Wilima, says in the 5 strategies the ministry is using to improve education, school feeding program is one of the pillars. She expressed optimism that come 2030, Malawi will achieve 100% coverage of the school feeding program.
Right now, we are moving from 30%. When I got to the Ministry of Education, the coverage was at 30%. Now we are boosting 40% to 42%. So this is a demonstration that within a few years already we've moved 12%. And from the meetings that we've been having, from the increased stakeholder engagement, and the fact that we've also put this in our strategy, this shows commitment from the government.
Founder of Mary's Mills International, who is also Chief Executive Officer, Magnus McFarlane Barrow, expressed satisfaction with the school feeding program 22 years down the line.
Wonderful thing to be a bit older now and to look back on these 22 years and just to see how this work has grown from a very small beginning and just to see the fruits in so many young people's lives that have been changed by this program.
Mary's Mills is working in 24 districts where it is implementing the school feeding program. Currently, the country's coverage on school feeding program is at 42%. Austin Fukula, MBC News, Doha.
The Malawi Bureau of Standards, MBS, has closed a number of shops belonging to Sana Retail Shop due to unhygienic conditions and selling of expired goods. The Malawi Bureau of Standards conducted the surveillance exercise in Blantyre, Lilongwe and Madzulo. More in this report.
The first shop to be closed in Blantyre was the Limbi Kapenga Sana, which had rodents in the shop. Cockroaches were seen roaming up and down in the shop, from the fridge to the shelves. The MBS also had concerns with poor packaging of foodstuffs, and some chicken had been tampered with, raising concern of cross-contamination. The situation at Sana Wholesale in Limbi also leaves a lot to be desired, as the staff toilet, which is located at the center of the shop, was producing a very bad odor and with very poor hygiene, and a cat was also seen roaming around the shop, an indication that probably there were rats in the shop. And in Blantyre, the shop reported rotten eggs, expired milk and tin fish, storage of expired or damaged goods mixed with goods that are still in good condition, poor packaging of merchandise, which would also lead to cross-contamination. Masozi Mwenefumbo confirmed the development, saying there are many concerns that need to be addressed. Mwenefumbo said MBS has the mandate to ensure safety of Malawians on what they're consuming.
The first reason for the closure is the poor storage that was observed in the back store, where you could see that some stocks, most of the stocks were closed, touching walls. Walls are painted, they've got paint, and then we don't want the food products to touch walls to prevent contamination of the products. The other thing is that some of the products were handled right on the floors. We don't want products to be handled on the floors because the hygiene standards require that the products should be handled off the floors. Thirdly, we have an issue of some rotten eggs that were producing heavy smell, bad smell in the stores, warehouse, and that smell is a source of contamination to the good stocks which are there. The first penalty is when you find such a critical non-compliances, the first penalty is that we do close the shop so that the redress. That is the first penalty. The other penalties is that we do issue spot fines, which wherever that product is found, they are required to match to the MBS for selling those products, or not for keeping good hygienic practices in the shops.
Malawi Bureau of Standards MBS spokesperson Wazamazama Katatu has said the exercise is ongoing. Kumbukani Piri, MBC News, Blantyre.
And in Lilongwe, our reporter Lonjezo Msodoka has compiled this report.
Among the 6 closed Sana stores, 3 are from Blantyre, 1 from Lilongwe and 2 from Zuzu. During the inspection, MBS officials identified several issues, including inadequate storage facilities and unhygienic toilets, which pose health risks to customers and workers. The officials also found that the stores are selling expired products and some were operating without required standards. For example, the officials found a running broken tank at Area 47 Sana store and malfunctioning cold room. According to MBS Communications Officer Wazamazama Katatu, the premises will remain closed until such issues are fully addressed.
It's a safety issue, so that has been a big issue. Secondly, it has been issue of the general issues of hygiene. For example, these facilities, a lot of people patronize these places. They're supposed to have well-functioning toilets, as well as make sure that the shelves are clean. Okay, you have discovered that in some of the places, some of the Sana shops, you find that some insects are just moving side by the products, which raises some critical hygiene issues.
During the inspection, some stores which the Bureau did not close, such as Food Lovers and Chipiku, have been fined and given a warning to improve their operations in serving Malawians better.
We haven't closed here because their level of non-conformities are not serious, they are not gross in nature. So they've been just told to work on those areas, the grey areas that our officers identified on the ground. For example, Food Lovers had, of course, a few items on the shelf which were not in good state. You might have also appreciated those products that we have removed from the shelf. Apart from that, their warehouse was leaking.
According to MBS, it will continue to monitor and regulate markets to ensure compliance and to protect the public. Lonjezo Sodoka, MBC News, Lilongwe.
Andy, in Mzuzu, MBS has closed 2 Sana superstores, and our reporter Alex Mwangosi spoke to MBS Deputy Director of Quality Assurance and Services, Gertrude Mwakikunga.
We have closed Sana Katoto and Sana North End in Mzuzu. The reason for closing is because we have found goods which have expired. They are past their best before dates. In addition, we have found that there are fresh foods which they are selling there. The fresh foods have got foul smell. Some have gone bad. The meat itself is looking dark, so we do not want that to be a consumer safety hazard issue. That's why we have closed the shops so that they can work on the hygiene. They should also work on their shops to remove goods which are expired. In addition, we have closed the Sana North End because we also found that they had fish which was rotten. They had also a malpractice on the bread that was being processed. They were processing bread, fresh flour, mixing with old bread which had expired, so to say. So the fresh bread, the expired bread and the fresh flour, they mixed together, and they were processing fresh bread, which they're putting on the shelves. So we're removing the bread from the shelves, and also because of that malpractice, we're closing the shops.
Reacting to this, floor manager for Katoto Sana Superstores, Amando Zienda, says they will follow what they have been ordered by the Bureau.
That when we are keeping things, we should be able to put separately, not selling money and what we are selling. We should also be able to check our stocks every day for expired one and not expired one. What we have seen is expired, we should not put on the shelf.
Community members in Mangochi have expressed discontent over continued poor waste management in the district's Palm Forest Reserve. A visit to the place has revealed that the reserve forest has been reduced to a dumping site of different waste materials, a development which is putting at risk lives of many people residing near the forest. Dave Umar paints a picture of the situation.
Mangochi Palm Forest Reserve is a protected area, and as efforts to increase afforestation and germination of natural trees are being prioritized, the forest has become a home to different kinds of waste, signaling lack of proper waste disposal. The reserve is fast becoming an unexpected home to a variety of waste, ranging from plastic bottles, food wrappers, diapers, and dead dogs, producing a denser smell. Sadly, some waste is dumped closer to homes, putting people at risk of diseases such as cholera. For surrounding communities, this is a health hazard as well as a threat to tourism. As a resident of Mangochi, this is not pleasing at all. I believe the town council needs to do something about this. You can see diapers everywhere, pampers everywhere. This is dangerous in such a rain season. Cholera outbreak can start any time. Commenting on the matter, environmental activist Dickens Mahwayo believes the municipal council has a role to play in allocating a proper dumping site to protect biodiversity of the forest, since people have no choice.
The responsibility of protecting the forest is in the hands of the council. Now this time, like, the council is failing to protect. But then, because the people are dumping refuse there, they are not to blame. The council don't have a designated dumping site. And that is why even the municipal council is failing in the district to contain the issue of refuse dumping. You go everywhere in the streets, you find dumping, people are dumping refuse anyhow, just because there is no designated dumping site.
In a reaction, Environmental Health Officer for Mangochi Municipal Council, Wesley Katumba, says the council is aware of the development. According to Katumba, the council is struggling to implement effective waste disposal systems, but efforts are being made to implement long-term solutions to proper waste management.
Mangochi Municipal Council acquired a land somewhere around Malangalanga for those people who know Mangochi, where I want to construct a modern dumping site, where we will have a succession pits, dry beds, and even a biogas plant, so that the people can go there and do some economic activities. At the same time, supporting other areas like agriculture. So these are things that the Mangochi Municipal Council are doing in order to mitigate or to reduce the problem of poor waste management.
Mangochi Palm Forest Reserve is the main entry into Mangochi Central Business District. But as you're coming, you are greeted by this view and a bit of acrid acrimonia sniffing into your nostrils, something which the locals say is not befitting a tourism destination district. Dave Umar, MBC News, Mangochi.
You are watching MBC News. A reminder of our top stories. Vice President Dr. Michael Usi hails Melrose Mills International for increasing the number of learners who are benefiting from its school feeding program. The Malawi Bureau of Standards, MBS, closes some Sana retail shops due to unhygienic conditions. In sports, Blue Eagles Football Club, who have been promoted into the TNM Super League, says they will not repeat the mistakes that resulted in the team's relegation in 2023 season.
The Malawi National Council of Sports brings you the 2024 Malawi Sports Awards on Friday, the 28th of February, 2025 at Sunbird Nkopola in Mangochi. This red carpet black tie event will award the best of the best in 14 sporting categories. Junior Male Sportsperson of the Year, Junior Female Sportsperson of the Year, National Team of the Year, Sports Association of the Year, Best Executed Sport Development Program of the Year, Sportsman of the Year, Sportswoman of the Year, Sportsman of the Year with Disability, Sportswoman of the Year with Disability, Coach of the Year, Sports Administrator of the Year, Sports Journalist of the Year Print, Sports Journalist of the Year Electronic, and Sports Personality of the Year. For sponsorship and partnership opportunities, contact Limbani Cliff Matola on 0881 878754 or 0999 878754. Malawi Sport Awards, celebrating sporting excellence.
We are Premier Bet, more than just sports betting. Experience an adrenaline rush like no other with Premier Vegas by Premier Bet. With thousands of online games, you can play fast and win fast. Play the best in crash games and slots, anytime, anywhere. All with a brand you can trust. Get your exclusive welcome offer now. Premier Vegas, where winners play.
UNICAF University was actually the best choice for me and the best fit.
You can be the next success story. Enroll in an accredited bachelor's program for just 159,000 kwacha per month to study online or on campus. Get a world-class education right here in Malawi. For more information, call us on 0993 907 002 to secure your offer today.
Kodi mukudziwa inu kuti matenda ambiri amene ankasautsa ndi kupha anthu ambiri kale anachepa, ndipo ena monga nthomba anatheratu kumene chifukwa cha katemera? Katemera ndi mwayi wathu opezekeratu opewera matenda ndi imfa zobwera ndi matenda amene katemera wake alipo. Ndi cholinga cha boma la Malawi kudzera mu nduna wa zaumoyo kupulumutsa anthu ku matenda popereka katemera osiyanasiyana.
Mphwayi ndi tsoka, tidziteteze ndi kutetezanso ana athu ku matenda. Tilandire katemera, moyo ndi mpamba, usamalireni.
Akupatsirani uthengawu ndi a nduna wa zaumoyo ndi thandizo lochokera ku bungwe la Gavi.
Welcome back. Member of Parliament for Nkatabe South, Kenny Zikali Ngoma, who is also the Minister of Mining, has assured people of Nkatabe South of more meaningful development in the area. Ngoma made this assurance at Chituka in Nkatabe district during a political rally. More in this report. Police in the northern region have arrested 2 men suspected of shooting and robbing a business person, money amounting to 14 million Malawi kwacha at Mchengautuwa in Mzuzu last year. According to the Northern Region Police Public Relations Officer Maurice Chapola, 3 other suspects are still on the run, while the 2 arrested suspects were apprehended in Zomba and Mulanje respectively. Our reporter Chisomo Manda spoke to Maurice Chapola.
Yeah, in fact, it was in November last year when we received reports of armed robbery in Chengautua residential area. We are making a follow-up on same because at stake was 14 million, and at the same time, life was in danger because he was shot during the day of the robbery. We have been saying that, as the Malawi Police Service, we follow up matters. We departed from mere rhetoric to action, decisive action. No wonder that our investigators followed up the matter to the southern region, to be specific in Zomba and Mulanje, where they managed to arrest the 2 suspects. I can confirm to you that 3 suspects are still on the line, but very soon we'll arrest the 3 suspects.
We now go back to our area story, which we are saying Member of Parliament for Nkatabe South, Kenny Zikali-Ngoma, who is also Minister of Mining, has assured people of Nkatabe South of more meaningful development in the area. More in this report by Chisomo Manda.
Asanachititse msonkhano phungu wakumwera kwa boma la Nkatabe Kenny Zikali-Ngoma anaendera zitukuko zosiyana-siyana zomwe akuchita mdera mwawo mwa zina. Iwo anaendera buloko yatsopano yomwe ikumangidwa pamodzi ndi library pa skulu ya sekondari. Asanachititse msonkhano phungu wakumwera kwa boma la Nkatabe Kenny Zikali-Ngoma anaendera zitukuko zosiyana-siyana.
We apologize for giving you the Chichewa version of the story. We now proceed. The High Court in Lilongwe has adjourned hearing of land Irango case involving former government official hostess Cecilia Kadzamila and Elias Kapwiti Banda family to later date for judgment. Kadzamila is claiming ownership of Tichitenji farm in Mchinji district, which the Kapwiti Banda's family claim is theirs. According to the High Court Judge Simeon Mdeza, the date for the judgment will be announced after all the parties involved in the case have filed their submissions. Meanwhile, lawyer representing the respondents, Mese Chijere, says she is satisfied with the way the case has proceeded.
We are satisfied with how the case has gone. We've managed to parade all our witnesses, and we've also been able to cross-examine the witnesses for the claimant as well as from the Attorney General. So we are satisfied with how has happened, and now we just wait to be served with the submissions, and then we also file our own submissions and then wait for the court to deliver the judgment.
Still with the courts, the High Court in Lilongwe has set 28th January 2025 as the day when it will make its ruling on whether to transfer the financial crimes case involving business person Leston Muli, former Chief Secretary Lloyd Muhara, and former Secretary to the Treasury Cliff Chiunda to the Constitutional Court or not. The 3 are being accused of conspiring to defraud government by obtaining an illegal loan of 5 billion kwacha from the defunct Malawi Savings Bank, which has now accumulated over 14 billion kwacha in interests. Patrick Dambula was at the court and he now reports.
It is alleged that around March 2019, Leston Muli, who is the first accused, got a loan of 5 billion kwacha from the now defunct Malawi Savings Bank under dubious terms and conditions, among them to repay the loan in 83 years. For their part, Muhara and Chiunda are being accused of abusing their authority as public servants by signing the consent order. When the court met, it was supposed to consider an application by the defense team, which wants to have the case referred to the Constitutional Court. However, before the court could pronounce its decision on the application by the defense team asked for adjournment, saying they have just been joined by another legal practitioner in the name of Senior Counsel Kaleke Nkapale, who needs time to study the case. But the state, through Director of Public Prosecution, Masauko Chankakala, argued that the request by the defense team is only aimed at buying time. He said for over a year and a half now, there has been no progress as the case is failing to get done with preliminary issues. Giving her direction on the matter, Judge Violet Chibao ruled that the case be adjourned to 28th January and that also on this day, the court will give its decision on whether to refer the case to the Constitutional Court. After adjournment, MPC spoke to one of the defense lawyers, Gladwell Majegete.
The defense sought an adjournment, considering that there is an additional legal practitioner in the name of Senior Counsel Kaleke Nkapale, who has just joined up the matter. And then he has to be briefed of what has been happening since we had started the case. And then after that, then we proceed together with him as a lead counsel. So on that premise, Counsel Kapale sought an adjournment to be appraised of what has been happening and also to be properly saved with the application which we made together with the scheduled argument so that he could prepare in advance.
On the other hand, Chankagala maintains that the many applications by the defense team are only aimed at delaying the case.
I think the court is right within its mandate to direct as it has directed. Our only concern which we raised was that these many applications are coming in just to delay the case, and I think the court is mindful of that, hence the direction that in the event that the application is dismissed, trial will commence right away on the dates which were agreed on the last sitting.
When the court reconvenes on January 28th, the direction of the case will depend on the ruling the court will make on the application made by the defense team. Patrick Dambula, MPC News, Lilongwe.
And finally, in sports, Blue Eagles Football Club says it has learned the hard way through the pain of relegation from the top-flight TNM Super League in 2023 season and will never repeat the mistake as they bounce back. Eagles coach Elia Kananji made the confession at Nankaka Stadium after the team was officially crowned 2024 Chipiku League champions. Details with our reporter Foster Mauridi.
Eagles have finished the 2024 Chipiku League without defeat, finishing in style with a 1-0 win over Panthers FC as they were officially being crowned champions. Speaking after the final match, Eagles coach Elia Kananji attributed their superb form in the second tier to teamwork and zeal to fight for the retain. Kananji says 2023 season will be hard to forget as their exit from the Super League was painful, saying the mistake will never be repeated.
Main secret is oneness. We are working together. That's why we manage to win all games and to go back in TNM Super League. Of course, I've got good players, but we need to beef up some 2, 3, 4 players in order to strengthen the team.
Central Region Football Association has since expressed confidence with the team, saying the Central Region candidate will be contender for the Super League title this season. General Secretary for the association, Antonio Manda, says Eagles' unbeaten run in the Chipiku League and triumph in the FDH Bank Cup is a big sign that the team is ready for the Elite League.
We are so excited with them, and we believe they are ready to fight and to go far, to do well in the Super League. We are very sure that by the end of 2025, they will be the champions in the Elite League. Now we are urging the management of Brigos, especially our big boss, Inspector General, to come up with a good management, give them money so that they can buy players. We should believe that after doing all those things, they will be very strong to go and conquer Super League.
Blue Eagles has finished the 2024 Chipiku League with 54 points, 14 clear of second-placed Villa FC. The league is expected to officially be closed this weekend, which will be followed by prize presentation on 1st February 2025. Foster Maulidi, MBC Sport.
Well, that sports item wraps up this edition of MBC News. A reminder of our top stories before we leave. Vice President Dr. Michael Usi hails Mary's Mills International for increasing the number of learners who are benefiting from its school feeding program. The Malawi Bureau of Standards, MBS, closes some Sana retail shops due to unhygienic conditions. In sports, Bro Eagles Football Club, who have been promoted into the TNM Super League, says they will not repeat the mistakes that resulted in the team's relegation in 2023 season. Keep up to date with all our news on all MBC digital platforms by scanning the QR code at the top right corner of your TV screen, or get the latest news by subscribing to our SMS services by dialing *364#. You've been with me, Simeon Boyce, and our sign language interpreter was Savita Wilima. Good evening.
Good evening, and it's time to look at the weather. More rains are expected as we get into the week, which may bring threat of lightning and a threat of flash floods.